I just want to say thank you so much for joining us. Normally my ladies get a lot of insight from other women about masculine and feminine polarity, but I thought, wouldn't it be amazing if we just got it from a male point of view? So what I want to do is a series of Instagram lives for the next few weeks about this, but coming from how a woman can sort of change her perception, change her idea of what it's like to soften and to feel safe around a man. So I want to introduce everyone to Chris, a very good friend of mine, yoga studio owner in Cronulla, also a teacher trainer, fellow life coach, and a very conscious male. So this is super exciting for us women. And I basically want to speak to this topic because, as you know, Chris, I work with women.
Yeah.
And one very common issue that I have, that we see, is the sort of masculine and feminine dance. Some of my women say that their man isn't man enough. Some say that they scare away men so that they even get approached by males for, whatever reason. Some of my ladies feel that they've emasculated their partners, which is quite interesting, especially if there was an awareness around that. So a lot of it's coming from women not feeling safe enough to relax into their feminine. So that's the baseline. So in your research or your passion project of sorts, why do you think this is happening, and why is it becoming more and more common for this sort of, incongruence?
Well, how deep do you want to go? I feel like it's part of the big, broad, wide agenda to invert polarity in relationships, to weaken the human species. But just on a practical level at each and every relationship, I mean, they're all different. We can just speaking generally now. I think, like, for myself, I feel like it was almost beaten into us to be not so masculine and to be more soft with the women. And then on the other side of that, the upbringing of the women's empowerment and bringing them into the workforce and all of that, I think, like, many different angles and combinations have created this big issue that we are facing at the moment. And yes, it's going to be challenging to undo it and bring it back, but it definitely will take both sides to take full responsibility for their side of the street for it to happen. I don't think it's going to happen if just one side wants to do it and to bring the polarity back to natural. It can't work like that. Both want to.
Well, go. Sorry to interrupt, but let's go back to basics. What exactly is polarity in relationship? Like, let's just talk about that if people aren't aware of what we're talking about.
Yeah. Well, I mean, polarity is just a universal law. We need poles in anything for them to have a unity or an attraction of something. The best example is magnets. On a magnet, we have a positive and a negative, or a north and a south. And the two north sides will repel each other. To flip it, like, you need to flip one, so one's north, one's south, or one's positive, one's negative, for them to be attracted to each other. There's always going to be extremes on one realm of thing. Example, temperature, like hot and cold. No, don't go there. But just polarity. We need two different opposites to be attracted to each other. Like I said, if there's two positives, then they repel. If there's two negatives, they repel. It just needs to be both. Like, that's the simplest form, and then that's exactly what happens in relationship as well. And the most natural way that happens, and it comes down to the thing of the energy and in the physicality, that the man is the giver or the penetrator, and the woman is the receiver and the receiver. So, like, on a fundamental level, I feel that's the correct energies to have in a relationship. And if it's the other way around on subtle levels, then the polarity is inverted and flipped, and it makes it really challenging to then, on an instinctual level, to operate really smoothly.
So when you say challenging, so from a perspective of a man, how is it challenging for a male, for masculine, if there are two, or essentially two masculines trying to be in a relationship or an intimate relationship?
Well, it would just be like two men, like two guys coming up against each other that want to have a fight and want to have their point across, or want to have their point of view seen, or want to have their container be the solid part. It just doesn't work. Two people trying to create a container and then there's nothing to fill the container, or two people trying to be the leader of a group and there can only be one, or two captains on a ship where we can have one captain and we can't have two captains, otherwise the ship will break apart, or it won't go where it, who wants to drive the ship can go to where it can want to go smoothly.
So if there were already two captains on a ship, so this is now talking to my women, my clients, do you think it is possible to bring polarity back? Do you think it's possible for this, because the way I sort of explain it to women is it's constantly moving, and then that's why the polarity's gone. So is it possible to bring it back in a relationship? And if so, how would you encourage, how could a woman inspire her partner to take the lead without being overbearing or controlling?
Well, the best thing that I've come across, and what really sparked all of this stuff for me is discovering a guy named Zach Rohde. He's very polarized in how he is online, because I think he's so direct, and he speaks to it so well. Like him and his partner, Mark Burnett, and another guy that they work with, his name is Trevor Lyon. They, for some reason, like what they speak to, it just resonates with me so deeply. And this might be from a masculine side, I don't know, but I can really see the nuances and understand where they're coming from. In the beginning, they triggered me a lot as well. Like as I was coming out of my emasculation and understanding where I was at as a man, I mean, which was really hard for me to see, because I came from a background of playing rugby league and like bashing people on the field and different things like that. So like it was really hard for me to see underneath that I was quite soft and not penetrating with my energy, or not really assertive, or not really directive, which becomes important in a polarized relationship. For a woman, like I said, like a lot of men have ended up in that category, and then the women felt like they needed to step up and to take charge to undo it. What I like about Zach and Mark is they have a communication way of being that, for me, when we speak in a certain way, it helps the energy to follow, rather than just unconsciously speaking and not knowing what energy is behind it, if it's laced with blame or shame or anything like that. If the people communicating aren't aware of that energy that's underneath, that's what we feel, and then it creates like a boundary, or we put a guard up, and then that's what starts the irritation between and the arguments or the fighting. But if both can be okay and learn and understand this way of communication, I feel it really opens up. It speaks to the nuances that's underneath the layer of what we're operating at, and it helps to then open the man up. If the woman, like if it's really about them being seen and heard, and if they can practice this way of speaking, then that's what will happen. They will more like that. The chances will increase dramatically if they can speak in a way that will open the man up before just coming at them with, just how it is normally. And then with this underlying of blame and shame and things like that.
Right. So may I ask, what specific communication techniques do you think women can use to express their need for safety and support in a way that inspires the man, instead of shutting him down, which obviously is one of the big problems that women face. You know, the feedback I always get is, oh, he just ignores me, he walks away, you know, whatever behavior happens post the communication.
Yeah. You know, and I can understand that. There's this irritation that shows up, and it's the male instinct that doesn't want to be told what to do. They don't want to be told what to do or how to do things or how to be. It's not like that. They want to jump to the woman's help. So if the woman can come from a vulnerable space in the beginning, not necessarily have to wait to feel safe, but just feel safe within themselves and then come and speak from that space, then it's going to have the man want to come to them rather than repel away. So like being really permissive and vulnerable from the beginning is going to open things up a whole lot more for then the man to want to come towards them and want to help. Ultimately, that's what the man wants to do, is like help their woman and protect their woman. But if the very thing that they want to protect is like attacking them and coming to them, like it makes it really, really hard. It makes it really, really hard. So,
but what's that from a practical tool, though, like from practicality, how, because I hear what you're saying, that the woman needs to feel safe and vulnerable to be able to express it, but how does it look in like a practical example?
well, just so being really permissive, more permissive, so more submissive or permissive, or in a I think permissive is the best word, and just asking for permission in a way. So it's like you are the captain, or you are on the ship, and the captain is going a certain way, and then you want to inspire the captain to shift direction because you can see something that's in the way. Like may I share something, or may I even asking to share your feelings. Like feelings is different to like just directives. Like feminine communication is sharing feelings, problems. You know, when a woman can share just the problem, not the solution to the problem, then we can hear it. If you're sharing the solution as well, then you're pretty much telling the man what to do. Like it's again, it's not going to work. So problems, feelings, and needs. If the woman can be really vulnerable and just share what they need, then the man will be able to step up and give them what they need. But if they're an example, if they feel like they're not, they need reassurance or something like that, or they feel a little bit insecure or anxious, rather than speaking from that feeling and then just saying, well, you know, you never show me affection or anything like that. Like, if it can be worded in a way that I need a hug, or I need some reassurance, like, man, the guy will jump straight to it and just do that, you know, like it's so different. It's the energy underneath the wording that means so much.
So the woman's not pre-framing the criticism or the blame, the going in with the agenda, but just going
Yeah.
feeling.
With the feeling, like share your feeling, and even asking to share a feeling is going to have it open up even more. Like, again, if it comes down to wanting to be heard, if you can, before coming forward, open things up, there's more chance it will be heard. Like, may I share my feelings? And then you just share the feelings without like, you're doing this to make me feel like that, just sharing the feeling part. And then you're feeling sad, or you're feeling upset, or you're feeling lonely, or whatever it is, then it's going to have the guy like, he's going to spark into like, oh, I don't want you to feel like that. Like, how can I help you not to not feel like that? Then they're going to be more open to like, why are you feeling like that? And then you can share like the part of why, and then it will be more of a like a level playing conversation rather than escalating into something that's really irritating, or you know, and it can escalate to something
Blame
else.
that often.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And do you think if it's already sort of fractured or inverted, do you think it's possible to bring it back? And if so, who would be responsible for bringing it back?
Like I said before, they're both responsible. Both responsible, and we can only really do what we need to do on our side to then inspire or help the other person. For the woman, just being more vulnerable, more permissive, inspiring and creating this energy for the man to come to them to want to help rather than you like forcing upon. And for the man, it's being able to be more assertive, more directive, and then being able to hold that space and that assertiveness in the direction or the correction or whatever it is, because they need to like hold that space for then the woman to be able to break through that little, like irritation in that moment to then see that the guy's still there to hold what they've just been through. It's so interesting and it's so amazing and it's so like subtle. But yes, so like if like the woman can't expect an outcome, otherwise it won't happen. And the man needs to hold his outcome. Like he wants to create an outcome and hold the outcome, and then that's how it will happen.
So what would your advice be to a couple that's sort of new to this, wants to save their relationship, because at this point now it's in the, the four horses, as we call it, lots of blame, criticism, lots of fear. What would a conversation around, like, what's your recommendation for trying to go into the space of, look, let's just see if we can fix this relationship and go back into polarity, which obviously they had at the beginning?
Yeah, obviously. Well, that's it. It's always there in the beginning, and it slowly diminishes away. So the cool thing is, like, speaking in this way, in this masculine and feminine communication, and for the woman, what happens when they speak in that way, and it can get heard, like in a permissive way and a vulnerable way, and then you get to share your feelings, then it's out there. If the man then cannot meet the feelings, then it gives you more insight of whether you want to continue or not, because now you've like vulnerably shared in such a way that has to be heard. And then so if you've done your best to share how you feel and he doesn't want to meet that need, then he might not be the right guy to continue with. And it might happen a few times, and you keep sharing, and the more we can get to the root of the cause of the issue, and then that is exposed and spoken about, or there's light brought to that, then you have a deeper knowing,
a deeper awareness of where you want to go, where you want to take the relationship, if it's even
worth it or not. Yeah, because because on the flip side of that, if you don't share, if the one doesn't share specifically and to the very root of what it is, then how is the guy meant to know as well? Like we're not mind readers either. Like we want to be the best and anticipate our woman's needs, and that comes through learning and understanding through the woman sharing vulnerably what her needs and wants and feelings are. The more that we get to understand them on a deeper level, because they're shared really, really well, then we get to know you really, really well, and then we can start to anticipate, but it's not always going to be the case. And so we're not going to know to the depth of your being what it is that you really, really, truly need. And if you can share that in a way, then we can do our very best to make that happen. And if it's not, it's not.
Yeah. So it just sounds like it's going to be trial and error, with a lot of communication from the woman, but with the I statements, I'm feeling, not you statements, I'm blaming. And for the man to be able to hold it in his masculine, and not a wounded one, more the sovereign masculine, where he's holding space for the woman, hearing her, creating space for her, and wanting to rise up and be the man. Is that?
Yeah, but it's going to be this continual give and take type thing into more of a subtle way of being. He will always want to if he's not told to. He will want to if he's inspired to. Like we become attracted to softness and vulnerability, as opposed to hardness and assertiveness back to us. Like it doesn't leave us anywhere to go if it's coming at us in a negative way, even worse.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously both people have masculine and feminine traits. So you can be whatever you need to be at work, but then to come home and be able to to feel safe enough, trust yourself enough, express your vulnerability, and soften into your feminine. So that's the ideal, I guess.
Well, yeah, like every situation is different. In the home, you want to hope that, yeah, like there's, like one thing I really love, I feel a man doesn't really necessarily want love. They want the energy of respect, and the woman wants to be loved rather than respect. Like for me, respecting someone is like, example, if I'm going to say like this is how this needs to be, then respecting that decision, then and then doing it. Like it's not necessarily gifts and love and all of that. Like it's more the softness, more the respect, and more the receiving of the provision, like of the giving, is all that a man really wants. Yeah, I think truly, deeply. I don't
Yeah.
know, it's such a cool subject. I know, it's such a cool
It is.
subject.
Thank you, and thank you for sharing. Like I know you've done so much work in this space, and I've just noticed, working with my clients, just how often this cup comes up. And the second you mention, masculine, feminine, there is a trigger, there is a reaction, there is, a blame, whether it's self-blame or partner blame. So, this is like part one, is just opening your eyes to the concept that there has to be a magnet in the relationship, otherwise the relationship will crumble.
Yeah, totally.
Can you, just because obviously it's time, but can you promote some of the stuff that you do? Because you're in Sydney, you're in Cronulla, you do retreats and all sorts of wonderful things. I'd love my people to.
Yeah, well, yeah, I have a yoga studio in Cronulla. We've just become a school as well, so we teach yoga. But for me, yoga is not like it's not just about what we do on the mat. It's like understanding the subtleties of what's going on. And for me, yoga has definitely helped me to see this stuff, and then this stuff has helped me to see more like this continual going in towards the more subtle realms of who we are. It helps us to make better decisions for ourselves. So yoga definitely is my thing, but I love speaking about this stuff as well and practicing it in my own relationship. It's been fun. And retreats, teacher trainings, a full-time one coming up in September. Yeah, the first one was amazing, absolutely amazing. And it's not, again, it's not necessarily about just teaching yoga. It's definitely an amazing personal development training on all levels, physical, emotional, energetic, and mental, for sure.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you. And for my people, if you direct message me your email, I will send you a little PDF file that I'm putting together about this topic that I think would be helpful of how to get started and how to understand the different roles of the masculine and the feminine, and try and reconnect them into a beautiful whole circle that we are meant to be in container. Thank you again, Chris. Thanks so much for your time. And I love talking about stuff with you. We're always, chatting about these weird and wonderful concepts because, it applies to every relationship, not just our personal ones. Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you.
Thank
See you
you
again
so
soon.
much.
Bye.